GB News have asked, what the hell is going on in Britain? A terrorist who backed the Rushdie fatwa lives in £1 million London home. That's actually not new news. We've known that for a little while. A Hamas commander bought his council house. We've known that for a while too. An Iranian missile strike is used to advertise kebabs. Well, you know, we imported these people. And 1,400 illegal arrivals have happened in the last 48 hours. What is going on? Well, there's actually quite a simple answer to this. The Labour Party are going to kill us all. And I know you're thinking, haha, that's pretty hyperbolic, but I'm not joking, and I'm not exaggerating anything. Let's take a stroll down the Labour Party's decisions and see if this will result in any deaths. Let's begin with the 1,400 illegal arrivals in the last 48 hours. What percentage of them are going to become murderers? Well, according to a Freedom of Information request in 2020, they tell us, we do not hold the information about how many illegal migrants have been charged with murder or attempted murder in the UK since the year 2000 up until the present day. They don't keep that information, but we still get news articles. For example, this Albanian, who for some reason decided to go on a car rampage and murder 2 people, that happened just a couple of days ago. Why was he here? What's he doing? We don't know. But the stated policy is bring them in to the tune of more than 1,000 in the last couple of days, and some of them will be murderers. Some of them will kill people. So death is a stated policy of the Labour government here. I mean, look at this. Like, these are, again, let's just watch this film as we're talking, because this little bit. Right, remember when they were on, the guy was on Question Time the other day, and he was like, well, you know, it's mostly women and children. The fuck it is. There's one kid. Otherwise, it's a bunch of young men who are breaking in, and some of them will go on to murder people. This is a decision by policy, right? And then there are not worse crimes, but there are other crimes that are really bad as well. But these guys were probably here legally, right? Sadnam Singh and Navjot Singh were delivering at home to a TV in Preston. The mother was out of work and the door was opened by her 14-year-old daughter, so they sexually assaulted her. Oh, well, I mean, that's policy. At least she's not dead, I suppose. So how much did they get in jail? Well, Lucy Connolly got 31 months for a tweet. They got 2.5 years. Okay, there we go. But anyway, the point being, the policy of death is a pretty well-established Labour policy at this point, because, I mean, they literally just passed the assisted dying bill, and, I mean, that literally is saying they want to kill us all. That's the literal interpretation of this. Britain is one step closer to compassionate, kind death for all. This is actually so comically evil. One day, the state will murder everyone in the United Kingdom, assuming our illegals and legals haven't done that first. One day, the state will just go, okay, you've lived too long, my friend. Chunk. Look at this. This historic day comes too late for many who supported my bill, but I will never forget their courage and selflessness. This is a Labour MP, by the way, who's deeply involved in this. And she ends this with the words of Desmond Tutu, because he was in favour of the state killing literally everyone in the country. Again, I'm not joking. The Labour Party's plan is to literally kill us all. Whether it's now, whether it's later, or of course, whether it is before they're even born. Because murder is what they call, quote-unquote, reproductive rights. Murder. Killing people is a right, according to the Labour Party, right? That's up until the point of birth. So literally, a baby, the day before you're about to go into labour, you're like, oh, I can feel some contractions. I better get an abortion now, or else I'm going to give birth to a person. And, I mean, this is just infanticide. So we've got murder there. We've got murder here. So at the beginning of life and end of life, yeah, we're just going to be murdering people. And in the middle, we are just importing hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, who, many of which will go on to murder. So the number of murders is just going up. So even if you make it somehow, you're fortunate enough not to be conceived by a woman who's just like, yeah, I'm just going to kill you, even though you would survive, were you magically teleported out of my womb. If you manage to be lucky enough to not be born to a woman like that, and somehow you make it through the gauntlet of really barbaric illegals who are allowed into this country for some reason, because, of course, there's no vetting. There's absolutely no vetting of these people. You don't know who they are. You don't know how many crimes they've committed in their own countries. You don't know that they aren't murderers already, and sometimes they are murderers already. If you get to it and you get sick, finally, you're eventually going to be like, yeah, okay, the end's probably coming close. The British state's just going to like, finally. We were going to get you eventually. I don't mean to laugh, because I mean this has got like strong, we plan to cut all homeless people in half by 2025 energy about it. Like, genuinely. Did no one at The Guardian like read that headline and go, is this really the headline Labour want? Do they really want their MPs being, yeah, one day we're going to have a kind, compassionate death for everyone in this country. We're gonna kill them. We're going to kill them all. But we're going to do it compassionately. Like, this was fake, right? This is a satirical meme that went around Facebook, but it sounded kind of like the sort of thing the Conservatives would say. Because the Conservatives obviously want to reduce homelessness, but they're also obviously staffed by fucking morons who are completely incompetent. And that sounds like the kind of stupid, ridiculous, ill-informed, grammatically incorrect thing they might accidentally put out. Whereas this was put out on purpose. Like, no, we're going to kill you all. We are going to kill you all. I'm the compassionate person, says the white woman, because I'm going to have you murdered by the state. It'll begin voluntarily, but who knows where this ends? And remember, like, the Canadian government is like the 4th leading cause of death in Canada. It's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And again, that's assuming you even get there, because at any point, 24 weeks was very permissive anyway, right? That's the time that you have to, the maximum time to get an abortion via a doctor. However, now if you terminate it yourself, well, no problem at all. On the continent, many countries like France, Germany, the Netherlands, it's like 13 weeks. It's very early, and it's very conservative and restrictive. And that, obviously, I'm coming to the point now where I'm just against abortion because of the radical permissiveness of the abortionists themselves, and just the fact that there were people praising this and just saying, "Oh, shout your abortion." This and the framing. This is reproductive rights. No, you don't have a right to murder someone. Only the state has that right. I don't know what else to do other than laugh, right? Because what's happening is so preposterous that you would never have thought we would end up in this place. You might remember the case of Zoraya Terbeek, a Dutch woman who's 29, who's euthanized by the government because she was depressed, right? She just felt a bit bad. And it's like, okay, well, you could change your lifestyle, right? You could sell up, move on to a little farm, raise some chickens, some goats, some cows in the Netherlands, make milk and cheese and stuff. And that you might find, actually, I'm not terribly depressed because I have the responsibility to take care of these animals. And actually, that makes me feel happy and blah, blah. You could have had kids. Maybe they would have made you feel better. I don't know whether she aborted them up until the point of birth or not. But the point is, this isn't just going to be very old people who are dying of cancer, right? Because in those circumstances, I agree. The humane thing to do is probably to give them whatever painless medication that then puts them off. Because I've seen 2 people that I loved die of cancer, literally the day before they actually died. And it is a tremendous amount of suffering. I agree. But this is a slippery slope, isn't it? This is where this goes. This is what's going to end up happening. And I'm not in favor of this. I'm absolutely not in favor of this. She wasn't suffering from any terminal disease. She was just like, I'm sad. And this gets her attention, worryingly enough. And so, yeah, no, I think eventually they are going to try and kill us all. They seem to be doing everything in their power to do that. And as far as they're concerned, anyone who goes into the NHS, oh, sorry, we don't think it's looking too good. Can I get a second opinion? No. You can, you can get a lethal injection, though. You know, like, this is so... It sounds so ridiculous, right? That's why this is funny to me. It sounds absurd, but this is genuinely the country we're in. But I just want to point out, right, that most people are not for what they're doing, right? Most people are not for abortion up until the point of birth. Most people are not for the state murdering absolutely everyone who ends up going into the NHS with a bit of an off diagnosis, right? Most people are not in favour of this, and we are going to win. We are absolutely going to win. And when we win, and it's not going to be reform, by the way, Nigel Farage is not going to do anything like this. Even though, and I just want to be clear about this, right? The public is not in favour of the Labour government killing everyone. Why do I have to say that? But that's literally what Kim Leadbeater is threatening us with. One day, the government will just kill everyone. It's like, oh, weirdly, 73% are dissatisfied with that. 19% are actually for it. And then you've got like 8% who are just like, I don't really know. And so obviously they're not showing up on this. But isn't that interesting? How only 8% of people are like, well, yeah, I don't really have a strong feeling one way or another. No, 3/4 of people are like, no, this is bad. I'm not for this. And this obviously reflects in Keir Starmer's personal approval ratings. And, oh, sorry, that was Keir Starmer's performance. This is, I mean, it's exactly the same. It's almost exactly the same number. Slightly more people personally like Starmer, but 75%, again, 3/4 are just like, no, I don't want Keir Starmer killing everyone in the country. I'm not happy with Labour's performance in this. I'm not happy that babies ought to be killed up until the point of birth. I'm not happy with any of this. None of this was in anyone's manifestos. Nobody voted for this. The Labour Party has no mandate for this. They did not win like anything near a majority. They were just... They frankly, they won a lucky victory because Nigel Farage came in and cut the legs out from the Conservative Party. That's why they're in. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have been them. And we would have got another bloody 4 or 5 years of limping, weak Conservative rule. This is all going to get overturned, right? When we win, when the online right finally has a party that's going to express its values, and we get into power, which we absolutely will, we are going to undo all of this. All of this. And then we are going to condemn the memories of the people who did it. Remember, we will find those examples where this has been used inappropriately because, trust me, those examples are coming, and we're going to make sure that everyone knew how monstrous they were. They are not going to get away with this.